Agbon Development Fund and a sword cutting ceremony for the Bewa Palace redevelopment project. That's in the next hour. And there's also going to be a conversation around mother tongue with Professor Obimfo Obadele Kambon, Associate Professor, Language, Literature and Drama Section at the University of Ghana. And of course, I sit down with Asafa Powell, one of the fastest men to ever run the 100-meter sprint, Olympian, and doing great things, in town for a holiday. And we'll catch up with him and find out exactly what he's doing in Ghana. Yeah, so that's what you want to look forward to on today's show, #GTV Breakfast. My guests are seated for the conversations. Kofi Owusu-Hene is the CEO of the Consumer Protection Agency. You know him as Kofi Capito. Kofi, you're welcome.
Good morning, Carl.
And Oscar Provençal, actor, and many other things. Inspector Bediako. And if you see him in his Beetle in Accra, give him a wave. All right, 1971 Beetle, give him a wave. Gentlemen, you're welcome. Happy Heritage Month to all of you.
Thanks, Carl.
I like that the fact that we are wearing the men's favorite color. I mean, if in doubt, go for blue. It's as simple as that. I think they program us from the womb that your color is going to be blue.
Absolutely.
When in doubt, go for blue. Gentlemen, how are you? You good?
Somebody said it could be better. Then another person said it could be worse.
It could be worse. The Nigerians say it could be worse.
Yep. What's on your mind, Kofi?
A lot.
Tell me.
A lot. Yesterday I was watching you. Was it yesterday that you were talking about? I don't know whether they are school prospectus.
That was yesterday. We asked our viewers to send us school prospectuses.
It's nothing new. I had a word that I sent it in.
When?
Maybe 7 years ago.
Okay.
You know. And I was so furious one day. I took him to the school and went to see the headmaster. Mm-hmm. And I asked him a simple question. Why is the boy going to be a farmer?
What did they ask?
Every term he should bring a cutlass.
No, every term?
Yeah.
No, every term.
What are you telling me?
No, I mean, it's completely wrong.
But that's what they do.
Yeah, but it's wrong.
Bucket.
Every time you bring a bucket.
Broom. You know, it's funny. When I went to school, we had maintenance people in school.
Exactly. So did I.
The only time we had to weed was when you were punished. Look, when I went to Apam Secondary, got there, went to the school store or school shop, and everything that I needed,
it was there.
It was there. And then when you say Ghana is not working, somebody doesn't understand.
Okay, was the WC brushes, man.
Yeah, I realized that.
Why are students bringing WC brushes?
But not even that. They've actually specified the brand
of insecticide,
and cutlasses you should bring. Yeah. I mean, come on.
What is that? All I'm saying is something is seriously wrong. And when you tell people that, quote unquote, free SHS, I enjoyed free SHS. Constitution is paid for me. It's paid for every student. The only thing was the boarding and lodging. All right? Then all of a sudden, some people who went well also took it to another level. I'm talking about the PTAs that were supposed to come and complement.
Yeah.
Some of the groups started demanding more than what they are supposed to. Some of the PTAs were even stronger than the school administration. The question is, where are we going? In 2023, you are asking somebody to bring hoes and cutlasses. Why? Is the school SSS for agriculture? Is everybody going to be a farmer? I mean, these things that we do to ourselves, instead of improving and making it better, it's rather getting worse.
For me, it's #WC brush.
You know,
it's still spooking me out.
2000 WC brushes.
Yeah, I remember our maintenance guy's name. We used to call him Emidis. The guy would speak. He would insult you and say, "You biologists, you physicists." Hey. Ask anybody who went to a farm secretary.
Archimedes.
Yes, Archimedes. He will insult you. You know, he's sure he said that people are talking about biology and chemistry. So he said, you biologists, you physicists.
Sounds like some insult to you, man.
I know. But what are we doing to the children?
It doesn't make sense, man.
Yeah. Well, we hope the GES will look at it and revise all of that. Because
how are they going to do it?
Like you're saying,
no, the question is
quite ridiculous.
Where's the plan?
Completely ridiculous.
Where's the plan?
Well, that's why you're here to advocate.
No, I am not the education minister.
No,
I'm not the education
so we'll
minister.
Advocate for it.
You and I can talk
Kafu is
the
leading the
dogs
charge.
come home. If the man in charge is not going to do a damn thing, you and I cannot do anything.
Well, you put pressure on him.
What pressure? The man even going to meet him or going to not just him. Most of the ministers and most of the CEOs. Do you know how long it takes you for you to go and see them?
Don't underestimate your impact.
I'm not saying I'm minded, but I'm just saying that I've been doing this for a while, Oscar. The question is, the man knows you are telling the truth. He sees you, he gets angry. Instead of him saying, oh, Kofi, maybe, I haven't even thought about it that way. So how do I make it better? Come and let's improve upon it.
Right.
That is what we need. And the question is, it's not just even the school. It's a whole lot of areas in Ghana. Look, and now let me take this opportunity to thank the Ayawaso Wagon, the MCE. She's a lady. I've forgotten her name. Okay. She's tried her best. There's an idiot who is trying to cover a gutter in East Legon. Okay, and the funny thing is, it's a Ghanaian who started it. And that Ghanaian has now sold the land to a foreigner. A gutter. You know, from where there is the TVET or whatever, you know, that place. The school, the new school. MVIT, when you are descending. Mensa Wood Road. You make a left. That just in that corner. They used to sell flowers. They had some flower boys there. All of a sudden, this guy claims that he is the owner of the land. Kicked the boys out. Started trying to block the passage of the water. The lady has, and then she will put a wall. They've broken the wall. Sunday was the 4th time that wall has been broken. And the man still insists to build. On the waterways, have we? East Legon. You see, and you are talking about people getting involved. I don't even live a mile from there. I live about 2 miles from there. But it's my concern. It's my neighborhood. People live next door and they are not doing anything.
So we need more champions.
Let it rain. Let it rain. Let something happen. Typical Ghanaian. We've been cursed. And then some Osofo sitting somewhere will tell you that I had a vision. And then we all believe him. When some idiot.
You and we believe.
Well, somewhere, because if not, we will not entertain them. Some idiot.
You've said it 3 times. Your Ghana people will not be happy with you.
No, because which one?
The idiot.
Because I said some idiot. I didn't say Ghanaians are idiots.
No, but our Ghana people will not be happy.
Why?
You know, because we don't like insults.
That's not an insult. If I say you are an idiot, you are an idiot.
It's in the dictionary, Anna.
Whatever it is.
Is it a term of?
It's like.
Is it a term of praise?
No, it's like what you say. The way I went to school, the Equapian people, even when they want to insult you, they say, "Me pacho say we are boy." The man means you are boy.
But
me pacho doesn't matter.
He added a sebi too.
Me pacho or sebi doesn't matter. He's called you a boy whether you like it or not. Let's stop this thing that we don't want people to tell the truth. This is what is killing Ghana. And then they say, the man is an elderly man. You should have. The man is a thief. He's a thief. Age doesn't matter. And this is what we do to ourselves. And that's why I am so angry this morning. When a child speaks the truth, when the opinion is lying, what do you call him? The child speaks the truth, you call him Akraboni. You beat him, or you beat her. A grown man that is supposed to know better is an idiot, and he says, I should use the word idiot. He's an idiot.
I'm counting is the sixth one. All right, I get your point. I mean, you've made the point. So that gutter needs that whole action of covering.
And I applaud the woman. She's just Sunday. She demolished it again. Guess what? The idiot has rather taken them to court to go and get an injunction against them. And the question is, this is not a land that anybody can sell it to you. It's a gutter. It's the main waterway. Is it the Irani school? Where the people here? Just opposite.
So also West Wogan.
Just opposite.
Get our team to go and have a look at it.
Just go and see.
Keep an eye. All right. So that and school prospectuses, ridiculous things on the school prospectuses. We're still calling for the prospectuses. So if you're sending your children to school and you like me, you are freaked out about WC brushes and long brooms and specific kinds of insecticides, I want to find out from you. Send them to me. 055-556-1034. Boarding school is part of our heritage. A lot of people over the years have gone to boarding school, but some of these requests are getting ridiculous, So we want to see, just send the prospectuses to us on our WhatsApp, take a nice picture, put it there, 055-556-1034. Capito has given us what's on his mind. What's on your mind this morning, Oscar?
Quite a few things. Yesterday you had Sergeant Tajete's resting place.
Yeah.
And it was very depressing.
Very.
In fact, I've never felt so depressed in my life watching those kids and the environment in which this hero of ours is laying. And I say to myself, what does this image do to the psyche of Ghana who want to die for Ghana? Who on earth will want to die for Ghana? If this is how our heroes are going to be treated. And it's so sad. And there are so many unsung heroes in this country, but somebody like Sergeant Tajete, who is the poster boy, let's say, of our independence struggle.
Not just the Matipo.
Yes,
and the other guy.
What about them? Where are their graves? And if that's the condition of Sergeant Tajete, I don't know what theirs is going to be like.
At least this is found. The other two, they can't even locate it.
They can't even locate
No, they can't even locate them.
What a shame. What a shame. And a country that cannot honor its heroes, people who have put their lives on the line for our future. It's so sad. I was extremely depressed by that, and I hope that the state or some benevolent people will come forward and rectify that. And from now on, we should look at really honoring our heroes properly.
Was he not a soldier before he died? He was an ex-service person.
He was an ex-service person.
He belonged to a family. He belonged to a traditional area. So I think the family, the traditional area, the military must come together, exhume the man's remains, and go and rebury him in any of our military cemeteries, the one in Osu or the new one. This is a man who predated independence by 9 years. Come on, please. And this would have been a perfect year, like the 75th anniversary.
Absolutely.
You could have done that.
Absolutely.
Because you have children dancing Balogo and Azon. They don't know.
Yeah,
and then you have it's a refuse. It's a refuse. I wish.
Yes,
it's a refuse collection point.
I watched it.
And then you have a semicircle of schools. There are so many schools around. There's about cluster of schools there. So the children are playing football and ampe, surrounded by headstones. I had a chance to go look at some of the headstones. People who were born in the 1870s and 80s and things who have been buried there. So that is a cemetery. Everybody walking there on that piece of ground. Yeah, basically walking.
And should there be a cemetery?
This is a cemetery
by a school. I mean, no, but you see, when I say that, and I agree with you that these organizations and bodies should come together. But these are people who have transcended family. They belong to Ghana. We take their images and we do billboards. get any royalties from those billboards. They are now state property.
Exactly. I think they even need to be on our currency.
They have transcended. And so when you look at it from that perspective, and even if you look at it from the tourism perspective, I mean, you have Nkrumah's Memorial Park. If we're talking about Independence Day and all these things, they could also be buried there, or in other sites that will also draw tourism, to those sites.
These are soldiers, former soldiers.
Yes, but
we know where we bury soldiers.
So it's very sad.
Washington D.C. There's a cemetery called Arlington
Cemetery. Beautiful cemetery.
Do you know how many people that go there just to look at the
people from history,
the military people, and then they have one called the Tomb of the Unknowns. A soldier who was killed and they didn't know how to. Yeah. And then they have the life, the flame light or whatever, the perpetual flame. And Kennedy's body, and Kennedy's wife, and Kennedy's son is there, which is the former president. And you have presidents that have come in and out of Ghana.
Yes.
And then when I talk, they say, why am I saying that? These same people would get a plane and go to Washington, D.C.
to go and watch it.
To go and see the Arlington Cemetery.
Wow.
If you go to London, if you look around Westminster, Buckingham Palace and all, people go to see the changing of the guards. And the military people. Don't we have military in Ghana? The question is, after 60-something years after independence.
Yeah, 66.
Look, I tell you, this is my personal story. An auntie of mine, Auntie Fouan, may her soul rest in peace. She says she wants to go and buy a property. So I took her to a real estate agent. And you know how the white man would tell you what constitutes for the value of that property. So the gentleman said it's near a tube station, there's a good school here, there's a shopping center here, there's a bus stop right here, and what even sells the property is it has a view of the cemetery. Then my auntie gets angry and does this to my sister. Yeah, sorry me uncle. So my sister said, we've come to buy. He said, no, sorry me uncle.
You don't want to be near a graveyard.
So when we got, I said, anyway, we Jimmy Pao. Maybe say, and this whole thing, we need to demystify it. People will take and their lunch, go and sit at the cemetery, read, and they eat lunch. Awudomi Cemetery, I had an issue with Okovandapoy,
the former mayor.
The former mayor. He actually sold part of Awudomi Cemetery to a mechanic shop. If you go where opposite TV Africa is, that lane, there's a mechanic shop behind Awudomi Cemetery. That is the only cemetery that is not quiet.
He sold it in his capacity as well.
No, as a mayor. But as a mayor, he should know better, especially somebody who came from America, that the cemetery is supposed to be a peaceful place. People go there to rest. The dead people are there to rest. Then you bring a mechanical shop for them to be making noise. And you see, I get a little bit irritated when I see people who prouse into that I was this in America, I was this in UK, I was this in Germany. And when they give you the opportunity, you mess it up. Kafui, a mechanical shop.
Can't even believe it, man.
Do you know how they started? ECG needed a transformer. So they gave ECG part of the land. The moment ECG took that land, the whole area was sold. Because the ECG transformer was for common use, for everybody to get electricity. So those things are allowed. And I asked myself, what are the assemblies doing? Look, this thing that you are talking about, Sergeant Ajete and all those people, for crying out loud, the assembly that decided to put the cluster of schools there.
By a cemetery.
Didn't they know that there was a cemetery there? Why do everybody wants to go to Gethsemane or the new one at East Legon?
East Legon, the private.
Do you know how much they pay? People pay good money for that place.
Gethsemane.
Gethsemane, yes. Good money. Because it is nice. And you see people every now and then would take flowers to go and put on the graveside.
So talking about ceremonies around gravesites, so the great-grandson of Sergeant Adjete, I think he's with the Scouts.
Sure.
And so they went there yesterday. Every year they go. So you can see, you can see on the screen. You can see on the screen. So they go there to do a memorial. The family does a memorial.
Yes, and clean.
And they try and clean up the place. Yes, but so this is what they did.
Yeah, I mean, this is wonderful. This is what this is a proper show of leadership by the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
The Boy Scouts, you're supposed to start grooming them for them to be leaders. And if they are doing this, kudos to them. I get my
So
point.
they cleaned the place up, and then they painted the grave. They laid a wreath, and yeah.
You know the military one at Osu here.
Yes.
Have you seen how clean it is?
Wonderful.
Because it's owned by the military.
Exactly. The new one too. Wonderful.
Yeah, but that one is even closer to that. I'm talking about the one here, the old one.
The Osu one.
Okay, it is nice. Even that one, Ghana, you'll be surprised that if you try to go and even view or look at it, because of our mentality, some military person will even come and slap you down. What are you doing there?
Yeah. But it must be a place where you
it must be a place that you should be allowed to go.
Go and reflect. Your person's anniversary, you go there, you sit there, have your picnic, you know.
You know, you're talking about this. My uncle, my only uncle, he was the only warrant officer. WO was it warrant officer, yes. During the colonial days. If you go to Kumasi right now, where Kumasi post office is, the old Kingsway, there's a runabout there.
Yeah.
There's a statue in the middle.
Yeah,
his name is on it.
Ah.
My uncle.
What's his name?
His name is Osebedu.
Okay. So that's the name I was seeing on the print.
Osebedu. His name is Osebedu.
Yeah.
He's on it. Are you getting my point? Like he said, if you don't reward our heroes, look, people who are in the military, I can speak of America more and even in London. Do you know the moment you leave the military and you and I are going to apply for a job, we have the same qualification and everything. The mere fact I have served gives me an advantage over you.
Of course.
Because they adore their people who go to war.
Yeah, sacrifice.
The Marines will say, leave no one behind. So the Marines, no matter what it is, if you are killed somewhere, they will bring you back home. Why? My son is in the Air Force. And I wish he was in the Air Force in Ghana. But when I went to his graduation, what I saw, I asked myself, what are we doing at Bema camp? I mean, this me sometimes, you in Nkrumah's people, when he said the black man is capable of his own affairs, I think if Nkrumah was alive, he would have changed his mind. Because the black man is not. Even outside, where there are concentration of black people, things don't work.
What do you think is the problem?
It's the black man.
Black man, black sense.
Black sense, black everything. Everything bad is bad. No, I went to learn a system. I went to see somebody do it.
Yeah, so it's about system. It's not genetic. It's just system.
No,
the way
but
we
you see,
think.
but the people who are going to enforce it.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
Yeah.
If I had my way, believe me, I would arrest drivers on the road every minute by the minute. But I don't have the
Make some
power.
money from it.
See, now when you go and tell him to go and stand for office and go and
the system will have.
Can I tell you the reason why I would never engage? I've told you before.
You told me before.
Thank you.
So anyway,
So the question is, why should I bribe somebody to vote for me, for me to come and chop his money? Are you getting the point?
Lots of questions.
Yes, I will come and beg you. Elections is coming. You see how they will come and beg you. You see how they will bring you bentwa. They will bring you cloth. They will bring you all those things. And then me and you When the MP doesn't give us money, MP no ma.
How would you say Bentua in English? I'm glad you say it because it's in this book that I'm reading about Bentua politics, where people people give the villages. Describe Bentua to somebody who hasn't seen it before.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
I think Bentua is
some kind of a pump, right?
It's a bigger syringe.
Okay, it's a syringe.
It's a syringe.
What?
Yeah, because
it's a syringe.
Yeah. You pump things out of.
Yeah, no.
Where's the producer?
What is it used for? No, because we have an international audience.
Okay, let me explain. When I was growing up, it's even used in the Western countries.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. It's something that you put a liquid in.
An enema.
Enema and all those things. Some medications, like a kid, it is better for you to sad a kid. You know.
What's the meaning of that?
So you're putting.
Yeah, back in the day, our parents, even when we were born, we used warm water to make us have a free bowel movement. And male, they will pump water into your even the females. It is something that I think is medically, but we used to add the traditional
some herbs,
and if you are a naughty boy. Like you, Kafu, your mother, if she can't try with a cathedral, she will sigh you. And then you know what they will do? They will hold your bottle.
No, explain the process. We want to know.
They will hold your bottle just to punish you. Because the moment that thing gets into you, everything wants to come out.
Yeah.
But they want to punish you, so they will hold your bottle.
Yeah, so it's not coming out.
It's not
Charles.
You know. So I mean, it is like I said, it's used in the Western world.
And why do politicians give electors Bentua?
Because it was very, very important. You know, people who are
Health-wise,
yes. You know, they take all kinds of things. They take classes. And then you go and vote. And come back and complain. That is what I don't get. Kav, I don't understand. What is... I've been in elections before. Not as a candidate, but as somebody supporting a candidate. And I ask myself, so you take this envelope. How long? 1 month. It is finished. And then you come and complain about the road in your neighborhood. You know that there is a good person, because he will not pay, you won't vote for him. Look, if I go to Kumasi, there's a boy at the airport. He sees me and shouts, "Kofi Kapito, CEO of Consumer Protection Agency, MP, won't he be there?" He tells me every day when I see my Kumasi airport.
I said, you never pay a bribe.
Yes, because I told them that I won't pay. Look, all this, if you and I are competing, if you don't pay, if I don't pay, where are they going to get the money?
Exactly. It means somebody is paying.
Somebody is paying.
Or
some lazy person, somebody who is not qualified will pay.
You mentioned the gutter issue, but this is also gutter and road issue. On, I think it was Saturday, I was in Osu in the evening, and there's a huge pothole. I think I told your guy who does the neighborhood thing, and it actually burst our tire. Bang from Dankwa Circle. You get to Kuala, that junction at Kuala.
On your left.
And no, on the main stretch going.
Oh, okay.
That's before the total.
Before the total. And I'm like, this is supposed to be our Oxford Street. How on earth is there a crater here that can burst the car tire?
The name is even wrong.
And then when you get to the total stretch where Penta Hotel used to be,
it's still the Penta Hotel.
The road is atrocious, and I'm thinking to myself, this is supposed to be our Oxford Street, our main tourist attraction that everybody comes to.
And you have lots of businesses on that stretch.
On that stretch,
really, I mean, multinationals, good Ghanaian businesses, and I'm sure they are paying fines and tolls. Every property rates, they should have enough money.
I was amazed.
They are not paying the.
And then it started to rain. And the flooding.
Yeah, also can flood.
My brother, we were trapped between two bridges that were over was off, I would have taken a video of it. The water was coming over.
This recently?
I'm talking about Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And we had a choice as to whether to, because the water was rising. I had water coming up to virtually my kneecaps. And so, you had to take a decision as to whether to cross the bridge or not. And it was a very terrifying experience because you didn't even know whether the substructure of the bridge had been damaged or anything. But you couldn't also sit there and wait to be carried away either. So we took a chance, but we went through it. But honestly speaking, this has been a perennial issue over there in Osu. And I think that they need to find a solution to it because apparently all the waters come, through that drainage to the sea. But it causes so much havoc. I think authorities need to do something about it. So that was one issue.
You know the biggest issue about Ghana, Kaf?
Tell me.
The government means goes and get a loan, comes to Ghana, and they put it into social intervention. The money does not generate any money back for them to pay the loans off. That's why we're always struggling. Because if you take a loan to do a project, that project should pay itself. Okay, you can't go and take a loan to come and do any project where there's not a lot. But I think the Americans, every dollar they spend, they make a return of 75 cents on it. Okay.
But they're in debt.
No, it doesn't matter. At least they are working.
They have more debt than anybody in the world.
They don't even own billion or trillion.
Trillions.
They own the Chinese trillions. But they are fine. The hospitals work. Okay.
They still have challenges. Trust me.
Somebody said the reason why God sacked Lucifer from heaven, because Lucifer would have corrupt all the angels. Even in heaven, there was trouble. But the question is, how big is your trouble? It's as simple as that. And time has come. We need to sit down and say, what are we doing as a nation that is not working? And we don't do that. We just talk. Yeah, yesterday I was watching the CI,
the EC chair.
The CI for the voting thing.
Constitutional instrument.
Wednesday, I'll bring you some documents. I don't know why we make people to register and vote so cumbersome. Okay, in the United States, if you're a green card holder, do you know you are not allowed to vote?
Who's a green card?
A green, like an immigrant, a landed, okay, the ones that are permitted. You have your documents until you become an American.
An American citizen.
The moment you become an American, you don't go to any place to go and do registration because your details is sent to your county electoral
area.
So they'll give you a form. Then you fill. Then they will mail your card back to you. It's even paper. It's just common paper. Like I said, next week I'll bring you for you to see. But when I get to the polling station, what they ask me is for an identification, whether driver's license, whether passport, whether any government official issued identification. And I'm allowed to vote. Why do you always want to reinvent the wheel in Ghana? And the question is, we say we are trying to make it better, but we always make it more difficult for people to be able to vote. Like Nigeria, they claim that they've gotten technology, they will get their results out within. Look at what is happening in Nigeria. They've spent money. But look at what is happening there now.
Yeah, the technology was not transmitting results they promised?
Because somebody did not do their job. Why is the man that you bought the technology from tells you this is how it works? Okay, and it's been working for me. I mean, why can't you use it?
I think they used it for their local election.
Let me read the story for you. So for those of you who just woke up and didn't know what was happening,
the man has won.
At dawn, ruling party candidate Bola Tinubu has been declared winner of Nigeria's presidential election, disputed presidential election. So he's a 70-year-old veteran politician.
Says he's 71.
He got 37% of the votes. Official results show. His main rival, Atiku Abubakar, polled 29%, and the Labour Party's Peter Obi 25%. The Labour Party and Atiku's party had earlier dismissed the poll as a sham, demanded a rerun. Mr. Tinubu is one of Nigeria's richest politicians. He based his campaign on his record of rebuilding the biggest city, Lagos, when he was governor. His slogan is "Now it's my turn." He was nevertheless defeated in the city by Mr. Obi, a relative newcomer, who mobilized the support of many young people, especially in urban areas. And he shook up the country's two-party system. Mr. Tinubu he won most other states in his home region of the Southwest, where he's known as a political godfather who helps to put others into office. His slogan was, "It's my turn," after helping others become president. It's now my turn.
Let me come and chop some.
In his acceptance speech, he called for reconciliation with his opponents. Quote, "I take this opportunity to appeal to my fellow contestants to let us team up together. It is the only nation we have. It is one country and we must build it together," he said. He said that they had the right to challenge the results in court, but said that the lapses in the election were relatively few in number and were immaterial to affect the outcome of the election. So President Buhari is stepping down after his 2 terms. And the country has gone through a lot. Economic stagnation, growing insecurity. So you have these Islamist insurgents in the northeast.
Fuel shortage and
yes,
everything.
you have fuel shortages.
Money
You have a nationwide crisis of kidnapping.
Money shortage.
For ransom. You have separatist attacks.
Yes. Currency shortage.
Yeah. So he has to solve all these problems, the money issues as well, in Africa's most populous nation and biggest oil exporter. And so... he has a record of fighting military rule in Nigeria, escaping into exile and becoming one of the founding members of the country's democracy in 1999. And he feels that it's his destiny to become president. So that's the situation in Nigeria right now. So his party the ruling party has been declared winner of Nigeria's disputed presidential election. You were following?
Yes. Well, I hope it will be peaceful. Nigeria will be peaceful. They are brothers. We cannot wish anything more for them than that. So I hope that they survive this process. When you look at the repercussions, it won't be good for the region. It won't be good for the country, and it probably won't be good for Ghana either, because we'll probably be faced with a refugee crisis of the likes that we've never seen before, and a security concern that we've never seen before. So for our brothers and sisters, we hope that cool heads will prevail. People will not turn the country upside down. I don't know what the EU, I understand the EU had a press conference and declared that the elections were EU observers.
Why should the EU be making such statements for an African election?
Well, they've been, but let's see how it goes.
Do African observers, are African observers ever invited to European elections to also make statements?
I don't think so. I mean, even the last American one, that was so chaotic.
Oh, what a world.
So we wish them well.
Well, Capito, you were surprised when you heard the man had won, right?
Honestly, I don't know the players that were in this election. I've heard the name Tinubu and Atiku. Mm-hmm. The Bola guy,
Peter Obi. He was the youth galvanizer. His fans were called Obedience.
And to me, Nigeria, 93 million registered to vote. Mm-hmm. That's a huge number.
That's 3 times the population of Ghana.
Yes. So, and they were undertaking. To me, I wish them luck.
But
like,
even Indians vote, so there's no.
Indian has
a
the largest
billion people.
Yes.
In the whole country.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
You got a point there.
yeah, it is interesting that but the Indian system also works faster. You know,
I think this is the first time that they've used such a system. So.
no, Nigerian elections are always delayed, just like us. If you don't get the results on time, you know. But as they say, if Nigeria
On that scale, anyway.
sneezes, Ghana catches a cold.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy that so far there's no violence going on that people are.
But we should be concerned because see,
Absolutely.
disputed elections in Cote d'Ivoire led to problems.
Absolutely.
And it happens. Disputed elections in Kenya led to problems.
But I think Nigerians have become closer to us, so they will take the court way. They will go to court. As we went to court. We went to court twice. And people went to court. NDC2 also went to court. So, like they are saying, it is better to go to court than to kill people. So I think so far, you know, cool heads will prevail. And if anything, they have, I think, up to May before you are sworn in. So there's ample time for you to go and seek any redress that you want to court.
And for those of you who are thinking, oh, how do you become president with 36% of the vote? Well, they have an interesting system in Nigeria. So for you to win the presidential, you must win at least 25% of the votes in 2/3 of the states.
Yes.
Right.
So Nigeria has 36 states, so you need to win 25% in at least 27 of the states to be considered a winner of the election.
It is more like the electoral college in America. It's not the one who wins the
first
popular vote. It's the states that actually comes to play. So the more states you win, the better chance that you have, because they does theirs based on the delegates in each state.
Yeah.
So California has the largest. Then you have the small ones. In a way, it forces presidents to visit even the small states because you need to go and canvass for that small amount so that they can push you up. That is why Michigan and I think Maine recently, they are the ones who decided the election for Biden.
Yeah.
Even though they are not that big state.
Yeah. It's just the numbers.
So maybe, I don't know if ours is better, 50+1, or somebody saying that they are using the Nigerian one. I guess that proves, and I don't even know, because I don't know whether getting 27% of all the states, and that makes you that you have the mandate of the people, or what we do, which is 50+1, that also gives you the mandate of the. But you see, in Ghana, ours is a little funny. If you talk about mandate, I think the Nigerian one is more better, because Ghana, you can win 1 or 2, 3 regions, maximum 4, and you can become the president of Ghana. And then now we have 16 regions. So if you win 4 or 5 and you win the election, you don't have 11 of the support from the other regions. Are you following what I'm saying?
I get you.
For me, my bottom line is this. I mean, what is the definition of democracy? America has its definition of democracy.
Everybody has their own.
With its electoral system. I don't think it's a fair system. With the popular vote, cannot win, and electoral college determines who should be president. That for me is not democracy. But that's what they don't replicate that in their quest to have democracy all over the world and champion democracy. Why don't they champion their system?
No, they are lying to you. Use your own.
That's my point. Why aren't they championing their own system and replicate it around the world?
They don't want to impose their system on you.
Gentlemen,
so we should once again look within ourselves, and come out with our own authentic version of democracy.
You know the 93 million that everybody's talking about, these are the people who are allowed to vote, who are registered to vote. The voter is actually quite low. Because if you total up the votes, I was seeing the votes, Mr. Tinubu had just around 9 million.
9 million.
The next person had about 7 million, so that's already 16.
And
listen, the voter turnout is around 20-something percent, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is low.
Then I guess ours is much higher.
Crazy low. It's crazy low. So out of the 93 million.
So what would have accounted for that?
I have no idea. We're trying to see whether we can speak to somebody because it's low.
It's very low.
They were hovering around 35% in the last 2 elections, but it's dropped down. It's dropped even further, and so 20% or 20, let's say 25% of the people voting, and then you have this tortuous thing of okay, you need 25% out of 2/3 of the states. And not a lot of people voted to bring whoever into power, you know.
Maybe there was a lot of apathy. I mean, that's part of the democratic makeup. I mean,
people have lost faith in the system. And
but it can happen here. I mean, there are going to be a lot of people who I'm sure who are going to be very apathetic because of what they've seen and experienced. You know, so you think that yes, on one voice you hear the social media outcry and all of this. But the correlation between social media outcry and what is on the ground, the realities are two different things.
Lagos had 22% turnout.
Only 20?
22%. Compared to 2019.
Lagos's population is about 40 million. That's more
Ghana's population. Yeah.
Ghana's population.
22% of the voters came out to vote. 1 in 5.
But that's strange.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All that we heard.
Yeah.
You know, this Heritage Month, I'm quite interested in it. Yes, the question is, what are the things that we put in place as a nation to create the awareness, not just go and show up one day and then come back home. These things should come with economic impact, because derbys and all these things, festivals, they're supposed to create some revenue. People, that's why me, as an Ashanti, I get a little bit worried when people attack the funerals that we have in Kumasi or in Ashanti region, because the funerals has an economic impact. People rent chairs, people who rent cloth, the Adwa people, the brewers make money.
It's a whole economy.
It's a whole economy. We just need to make it much bigger instead of trying to. And I tell people, nobody has come to ask you to look. Everybody does their funeral based on their money. Okay.
I think we should be advocating for less money being spent on the dead and more on the living.
It is. Look, but do you know that it's another family?
It's quite ironic.
It's another reunion for the people of Ashanti, because probably I will not see my grandmother for a while before I go to a funeral. Okay. I mean, let's not play it down.
So there are social
Let me tell you what,
around,
the white people are spending huge amount of money on weddings. It's also one day.
All right.
Okay, and then we are copying now.
Yes, Kofi, I get your point. Let's dive off to Nigeria right now, just to get some context from a journalist who is live from Nigeria. He's Adesola Ikulajolu. Adesola, good morning. Where are you reporting from Nigeria, and what can you tell us a couple of hours after the INEC has declared the winner of your election?
Good morning, you. Reporting live from Lagos State.
Right.
Which is the commercial center of Nigeria, of course, and one of the most popular states, if not the most popular states anyway. And I must tell you that in the last few hours, this announcement came in, of course, because at the midnight, we had quite a number of people already sleeping, but some were still awake, trying to follow the whole process and all. But since the results came in, it has been a mixture of fear, happiness, and uncertainty of what will happen next. Are we going to have a repeat of petitions where we have to go to the election tribunal because some parties are aggrieved and they are not happy with the results, and they want to, of course, oppose the result which has been announced? But then, we still wait for further actions today, but as it is expected as Nigeria, and it has been announced officially that Bola Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress, APC, has been declared winner with over over 8 million votes. That means, as it stands officially, still remains the president-elect, the otherwise.
Right. So before the declaration, Mr. Atiku and Mr. Obi's parties were not happy, and they were calling for some action to be taken, a rerun. What have they said after this declaration by INEC?
Okay, so well, not even only Labour Party, Peter Obi alone, even the People Democratic Party, which is PDP, they've also called for cancellation of the results and a total fresh election to be conducted immediately, and other smaller parties also joined them in that suit. But then, as of this morning, there is no press briefing yet. There is no official press release from any of these parties to tell us their stand. But as it is now, that we have parties going to court, filing cases, the election tribunal to say this is what has happened, this is what has transpired, and they will be opposing the results of the election, because there are places where polling units where votes were cancelled for obvious reasons, and of course the party again agreed before it got to the National Collation Center. But it stands now, Nigerians are expecting what will be the next line of action. Will there be violence, there be protests? Because at this morning in Lagos, while commercial activities are ongoing, one thing that is certain is uncertainty of what will happen next. Are we going to have a round of violence, or people are going to get agitated and they want to, of course, show their grievances? But then we'll still wait a few hours, maybe any of those parties will speak and others can follow suit.
What was the official turnout for this election?
Well, we expected more because we had a total of over 90 million registered voters. Over 90 million. And the votes that won was around 23 million. So that means there is a bit of decline. And of course, that decline is an evidence of the fact that, there was voter apathy, and also the fear of violence during election kept people at home, not coming out to vote. And it also tells us the kind of democracy we practice in Africa at large and Nigeria, to say people are yet to really have the biggest trust or the solid trust in our electoral system. Because if we have about 20 million people out of over 90 million registered voters, then there are lots to do. And of course, we had a number of void votes. At this period, at this age, at this digital age, and all of the education and orientation that has been done, we shouldn't be having a large number of void votes, because that is more like the advertisement. Because when people who vote are not counted, then it gives them a feeling that, maybe next time I shouldn't go out. But then, the percentage of those who voted is way lower than those who registered and collected their permanent voter card.
Exactly.
So we just hope maybe something will change in the next few years, but I think the journey also starts now that the new winner has smashed.
Is this the lowest voter turnout?
This is not obviously the lowest, but relatively the lowest. The reason why I'm saying it's not the lowest is because, in other presidential election, we've had higher votes than we do now. But this particular one was a mixture of fear, and that is why people didn't want to come out to obviously vote. So the number of people who voted reduced. However, I'm saying this that is not the lowest, or might not be the lowest, because in between 2029 and 2023, they will have new voters registration.
Okay.
So that means there was an upgrade of voters list and all of that, which will have increased the number of voters.
All right. We'll leave it here. Thank you so much, journalist based in Lagos, Nigeria, Adeshola Ikolajolu, giving us a sense of the mood. It's uncertainty. The results have been announced. They don't know what's going to happen next, so everything is just kind of quiet now. And the voter turnout was very low, 93 million on the books, but only 23 million voted. That's 7 million people who did not vote for whatever reason. And that's just awesome. Yeah, Kofi. 70 million.
Well, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But he's in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And he told us basically the reason why it's over. So let's just hope that nothing bad comes out of this election. And Nigerians can live happily ever after.
Absolutely.
And then so that we are about to go for an election ourselves. And then to have them, this is the closest place they can come if they want to get away. We don't want to have overflow of them coming in. So good luck to them.
All right. Okay, great stuff. Messages 0555561034. Also in the news was the Electoral Commission, the head of the Electoral Commission going to Parliament to speak of the constitutional instrument. And there was Sankide says he's very happy with the way the EC chair schooled the NDC minority MPs in Parliament. We all know that the only one card one can use to vote is the voter's identification card, but not the Ghana card. And so, yeah, no Ghana card, no registration, no vote. Okay, thank you so much. Alhaji Dawuda, Nigerians and elections, and you think that there should be, you're talking about disputes of results and all the things that are going on in Nigeria. Thanks a lot for that. Alhaji Haruna, you believe that the posture of the head of the Electoral Commission is a threat to our democracy, with her posture on showing clearly her bias towards one party. Those are your views. As long as you keep it civil, I'm cool. I don't understand some of the comments that are coming in. So, breaking the 8 has started in Nigeria. Oh, really? Okay. Not doing a lot of forecasting things. We should not be bemused with the burial site of Sergeant Ajete. In a country where some elitists, ignoramai or Moses, have consciously tried to skew our history to suit their whims, how often do we talk about the ARPS, the Kingsley Hayfords? How can Ghana talk about issues like Beijing Conference as if it's novel when we have had Yas Antoa decades earlier? Yeah, you think that Elohim made Ghana a trailblazer, but we feel proud being faceless lackeys. Stephen from Sunyang, you scroll about school prospectuses. It's true, prospectuses. If I have, I can send it to you right now. I asked you to send it. Why are you asking me whether you should send it? And we are now out of time, so I won't be able to read it. Just send it. Thanks to Kofi and Oscar for their submissions. Lands are being destroyed, water bodies polluted, deadly and unworthy roads, traffic lights, educational systems, economy. You believe we are under a certain spell. I don't think it's a spell. It's not thinking right, that's all. When we think right, things will change. No spells. This is for the BFS panelists. Ben Toa's English name is Bulb Syringe.
It's just a syringe.
Bulb Syringe. Bulb Syringe. Good morning, Calf. We must remember our heroes. That's a long. You see, when it's long like that, it's hard for us to read. Oh, this is a whole thesis, man. Thank you. Keep it short. Kate, good morning. Heroes and heroines in Ghana forget the politicians are only interested in lining their pockets. GS, all they know is sanctions. That's what you say. I hate to be the one to voice this out. People of Lawe right to reject the statue of Major Mahama. Okay, all right. And finally, I'm going to end with something that was given to Valerie, who talked about Ghanaian foods today. Good morning, Valerie. Wintia is Senegalese pepper. Yeah, is it Wintia? Wintia. Yeah, so it's a pepper with a Senegalese passport, and that ends my.
What means Senegalese? It's been in Ghana for ages.
I'm sure in Senegal they call it Ghanaian pepper. So yeah. Good morning. I'm enjoying the show. Lord Momo Dansuma, he keeps calling our show a shower. I don't know why, but we'll take it like that. Thank you so much. Our messages are done. Kofi, Oscar, it's been a real pleasure. I wish you could stick around. I have one of the fastest men in history on the show today, Mr. Asafa Powell, to come and chat to us about life after during retirement. He retired from sprinting on his 40th birthday last year, and he's in town with his Ghanaian wife to come on holiday. So we'll have a conversation on that. We have a conversation on the launch of the Dagbon Development Fund, as well as a shortcutting for the Gbewa Palace redevelopment project. And we'll be discussing our mother tongue, our identity. Please sign off briefly in 30 seconds in your mother tongue. Kofi, starting with you.
Ghana for me, two move say, Mummy, Oman Bapa. Kasamkunya any Niema Fasuonisono. Nina and yet intimate to your own check.
That's it.
Name some Ghana, Nagana, foreign to my baby.
Amen. Bros.
My friend, why are you doing
Drop something. Some small Ghana. Greet somebody. Greet your mom.
No. Look, all I really want to say is this: we're heading for Independence Day.
Yes.
I don't think we have too much to celebrate. We need introspection. This should be the Independence Day of introspection.
Yo.
Bottom line, no celebration, nothing to celebrate about. Introspection, and let's get off the ground and up running. Kadash.
Can I give you a request for Asafa Power? I'm glad that he's in Ghana, but can you ask him if he's here to do any workshop for the young athletes?
Yes, clinics. All right, great stuff. Medak Benami, thank you so much. Keep enjoying our launch of the Heritage Month right here on GTV Breakfast. I'll come back with the conversation.